Another question type that I want to discuss is the keyword question. So if you recall, a keyword question is a question that doesn't have a line reference, but it's still specific. In other words, there's a specific portion of the passage that if you found it would tell you what the answer to the question is going to be. So it's not about the passage as a whole, even though it doesn't have that specific reference. And it's often coupled with these evidence part 2 questions. And what's useful about the keyword question is by keyword we mean there's a word or words in the question that might be something you can use to help you find the answer to that question. So for 45, if you recall, a keyword here was peacock, right? According to Peacock, who's a person. So what we could do is skim the passage, look for the name Peacock, and hopefully we'll find some places to look for the answer if we don't remember where the answer was already after reading it. So you use a keyword question to skim the passage, look through it, try to find candidate areas where the answer might be. And then, of course, once you find it, the follow-up question usually comes pretty easily, because once you found that reference, typically you're going to find the answer in these lines as well. So unless I already read something that would indicate to me what the answer to this question is, when I see a keyword question like 45, I'll typically, it depends on the ordering, of course, but I'll typically skip it. Unless I have a really good lead on where the answer might be. I'll skip it. I'll do it before I do the general questions, but I'll almost treat it like a general question in some sense. And then if I have to, go back and look for it because I'm not quite sure where the answer is. As we've said, we'll skim the passage looking for that keyword. If necessary, just have to kind of reread more in detail to maybe find the answer. But try to skim the passage, look for that keyword, look for where they discuss that issue in the text. And if it's a part 2 question, you can use the bracket technique to help you. So we know the answer has got to be between somewhere between 1 and 26. So bracket that off in your passage, skim for peacock, read for peacock, and you'll find the answer. One key, what you might be able to call keyword question that appears sometimes without a line reference. You'll see this, according to the passage. And when you see this, you have to think that this might actually be a general question, even if they have another keyword elsewhere in the passage, right? So if it says, according to the passage, deforestation occurs because, you have to be very careful with that. You might find a discussion of deforestation in one part of the passage, or since you have this kind of prefacing the question, it might be an indication that it's more of a general question. So be aware of that. If you see any of that kind of language, if you see the passage as a whole referenced in the question, it might actually end up being general.